Hi, I'm Johnny. This is Johnny Likes, the show where I talk about movies that I like. Today I'm talking about an odd little comedy from the 90s. Today, Johnny Likes Meet the Applegates.
You tell him, Johnny. You tell the world.
Let's meet the Applegates, shall we?
Applegate, Jane, age 38, occupation homemaker. I met my husband at Maryland University, where I majored in home economics.
Applegate, Sally, born Baltimore, 1971, Scorpio. I enjoy swimming, chicken McNuggets, and gymnastics. Kiss on the second date.
Applegate Johnny. Hobbies include science, baseball, and
heavy metal music.
And heavy metal music. And I'm 15.
They seem pretty normal, right? Not quite. They're actually a species of insect called the Brazilian cocorota, which are giant bugs that live in the Amazon who can apparently mimic human form. Their natural habitat is being exploited by people's exploitation of the rainforest, so they are infiltrating human society with the ultimate goal being to exterminate humanity by gaining access to our nuclear weapons.
That's nuclear, Dad.
Lesson number 1. Most people say nuclear. Next time, get it right.
Along the way, each one of the Applegates deals with common problems faced by the average American middle-class family. The father deals with infidelity with his secretary. The mother develops a spending problem.
Oh, I'm sure that dress would cost a fortune.
So, put it on plastic.
Plastic?
The son gets hooked on drugs, and the daughter deals with an unwanted teen pregnancy. And they each solve their problems with problematic people they encounter by spinning them up into some sort of cocoon-type structure and stashing them about the house. Eventually, the Applegates are found out for what they truly are and have to justify their existence. I discovered this movie while doing research for the movie Heathers, which I recently reviewed, and you should probably check out. And I came across this movie, which immediately triggered some deep-seated memories from when I was a kid. I must have seen parts of it on TV or at a friend's house. It was immediately familiar. It's not every day that I rediscover a movie that I forgot existed from my childhood, and I have a fascination with movies from the late 80s and early 90s that deal with suburbia, so I was pretty pumped going into this. The movie has 3 tones in it. It's got the straight-up slapstick sight gag-based comedy, it's got some satirical-based comedy, and there's a bit of horror thrown in as well. The humor is generally not all that funny, the sight gag-based stuff. It's a lot of the Applegates eating sweets such as Butterfingers and drinking syrup, carving up a chocolate bar like a roast, eating out of the trash. You get it? Because bugs like sweets and garbage. Plus some innuendo-based stuff, such as this home shopping network gem.
Again, the design is that the machine does all the work. It weighs 8 pounds, it balances itself on the 4 corners, and it has a heavy-duty motor built for long, heavy-duty use.
And this.
Next to the control room.
And this. The satire is that the bugs get to use their outsider social status in order to poke fun at American normalcy circa 1990 or so, despite them obviously modeling themselves after 1950s style Americans. Just look at the way they dress. There also was the idea that they're trying to be the most normal family.
We're official. Census Bureau records now list the Applegates as an average American family, hitting every statistical norm right on the nose.
Which in itself is kind of interesting, but I don't think they really explored it as much as they should have. And the third and least present tone is horror, but it is there. These are giant insects that are hostile towards humanity, so much so that they want to exterminate us. That's a horror premise. The transformation scenes of the bugs from human form into insect form is kind of creepy.
Dude, this pot must be dusted. He looks like a mutant. Man, this is some creepy shit. What happened to Johnny? I think that fucking mutant ate him. Oh no, man! He's gonna fucking eat us!
It was pretty well executed, and I can imagine it giving some kids nightmares if they had seen it. After all, if I, a seasoned horror fan, am a little bit creeped out by it, yeah, it might freak some kids out. This wasn't an FX-heavy movie, and an American Werewolf in London level transformations these were not. but I still enjoyed them. The biggest problem with the film is that they didn't embrace one of the genres as fully as they should have. It seemed like a film that had been neutered by committee. I imagine the original idea for the film was a horror movie with Invasion of the Body Snatchers style themes. And then with a rewrite, it got some social satire thrown in. And then somewhere along the way, it got spun into a mostly family-friendly comedy instead. It felt like they were trying to please everyone at once, and by doing so, please nobody. Like, for the most part, it is a family-friendly, just goofy comedy. But there is some stuff that sneaks in that's not appropriate for the youngins, such as the infidelity, drug use, and what happens to the poor teenage girl. I'm not sure who the target audience was for this. As I just said, a little bit inappropriate for kids at points. I don't think it was aimed at teenagers. It's not crude or gory or horny enough. And I don't think it was really aimed at adults either, because the comedy is mostly just sight gags, such as, oh, the bugs drink syrup. Ooh. And it didn't quite work as a social satire, as the barbs weren't as wicked or as mean as they should have been. There was the occasional bit of smart writing thrown in, such as this nuclear pronunciation callback.
This is a nuclear power plant, not a wildlife preserve.
Which I didn't catch at first. But ultimately, the movie was a bit of a letdown. I was hoping that it was going to be this weird and subversive movie that fell through the cracks and time forgot. Instead, it ironically turned out to be incredibly average on nearly every level. The only memorable things about it are the premise and the kind of lack of target audience. So I'm going to rate this a 3 out of 5. I think it would have worked better had it been a more adult horror comedy / satire, or if they had cut out the kind of too scary and too thematically intense stuff for kids and just had a goofy giant bug movie. So those are my thoughts on Meet the Applegates. You can leave yours in the comments. While you're here, you may as well like and subscribe. It's quick, free, and relatively painless, plus helps me out. Thanks for watching me talk about movies for a little bit, and you can tune in next time to see what else Johnny likes.